Even if you don't use Arch Linux, we all probably know about the Arch Linux Wiki, and many of us use it on a fairly frequent basis, I being one of those people. But even though it's absolutely not perfect, we are much better off with it than without it. But if you're using the Arch Wiki a couple of days ago, you might have noticed a bit of an issue. For a brief period, every single heading had flashing red text, and then a bit after that, every heading had a banana emoji next to it. And rightfully, a lot of people were kinda confused. What in the world is happening? Some people even thought the Arch Linux wiki had been compromised. Earlier this morning, the headings were blinking red text. Now there appears to be bananas next to all the headings. Anybody else seeing this, or am I losing my mind? Or maybe it could have been, say, a disgruntled maintainer, a disgruntled admin, someone who had edit privileges who was going around vandalizing the wiki. Now, the Arch Wiki definitely was not compromised, but it was modified by someone who does have edit privileges. They just weren't so disgruntled. So the first reply to this thread was from NL6720, who is a wiki admin. Nothing's wrong, everything is working as intended. And then links to this change right here, and this is the change that made the text start blinking. Which doesn't explain a single thing, actually. All it says is NL6720 asked me to make it blink. So we know who asked you to do it, but why did he ask you to do that? What exactly is the purpose of this change? Now, not everyone was taking this really that seriously. Ominous blinking. If everyone doesn't read the wiki, their installs are gonna explode. But not everyone was having as much fun with it. I find the blinking very annoying and wonder how it will impact people sensitive to bright flashing things. Is there a chance this will be reverted? And ArchDub had basically the same opinion that I have. Not sure I understand why that is intended. Can you please explain the purpose of animation, name your animation 1 second infinite, which is the thing causing the animation loop? In any case, this is very annoying. Can it be turned off somehow? And then this response happened. There are currently some tests being done in the wiki. Don't worry, we'll get bored eventually. For the record, I just requested bananas to be added so it matches the IRC channel look and feel, and this is a mostly reasonable response. But this is not the response that a lot of people wanted to hear. A lot of people, I guess, wanted to hear that something really bad was happening, because this sets some people off. That is an unprofessional response. I'd like to assume we are not aware of some relevant information on why this is being done. I'd really like to, but to hear that our wiki staff is making ridiculous and obnoxious style changes to our community reference material for shits and giggles, or because they are bored, is really not appropriate. This is inappropriate and unprofessional. The admin responsible should be removed from the team to prevent wiki vandalism in the future. And then finally, this, which I think is definitely too far. Now, those are the bad eggs. Most people are not insane, but like Alan here, most are confused why this is being done in production. Although your point is a good one, surely this would have been a great time to spin up a test server and confirm backups are working. So there were multiple changes made that are part of this testing. With this first one here adding the blinking red text, down the bottom here is the actual animation itself. It's not doing a fade or anything like that, it's just going from no color to red, from red back to no color. And some people did bring up that this might be like a health concern for people who are susceptible to seizures. It was blinking once per second. Now, I'm not a doctor, but once per second isn't that fast of a flashing light. It's annoying, but I don't think at that speed it would be a health risk. Either way, it shouldn't have been the test being done. So to make the wiki, actually usable, they replaced it with these bananas here. Now, you're probably thinking this is like a out-of-season April Fool's Day joke. It doesn't seem like anything's actually being tested. It seems like it's just pure vandalism for the sake of vandalism. Now, something I've noticed over my years of using Arch Linux and making videos is a lot of people, especially on the Arch Dev team, on the AUR team, the Wiki team, the Forum team, Honestly, a good portion of the people involved in managing Arch Linux don't like to say what they're doing. Instead, they just go and do it, watch everything light on fire, and then do damage control after everyone is confused. So to help you guys out, I will explain why this test was being done. You've probably been to the Arch Wiki plenty of times and noticed this discrepancy. So if you look in the table of contents, every single heading has a number next to it. So 1 pre-installation, 1.1 acquire an installation image, 1.2 verify the signature, so on and so forth. But when you go down to that heading, none of them actually have a number next to them. This is kind of okay, but it does reduce the readability. But it's not like they're doing it like this because this is the way they want to do it. For a long time now, they've wanted to have numbering there like you would expect if you're numbering in the table of contents. But they couldn't exactly do it out of the box. How can we make deep articles with multi-level structure more readable? In-depth wiki pages may reach header level 5 or 6. These look visually the same as header level 4. What would be the best solution to make it more readable? Breaking up articles can be problematic because they require big needless back and forth content moves maintaining it. This discussion was originally started over at this page right here, but applies to all big wiki pages. Once upon a time, MediaWiki had a user setting to auto-number the sections, but they removed it in a recent version. It's possible to hack it with user CSS. We should probably merge it into the global style sheet and figure out how to make it configurable or just leave it on for everybody. Now, someone said, I'm in favor of user... I'm sorry, I have no idea where to even start with that. CSS hack for displaying the numbering of sections to help readability. No performance issue noticed on a 2018 Android smartphone, 2016 Skylake desktop, or 2013 Haswell laptop. So the hack was something like this. It was a messing around with CSS counters. I don't exactly understand how they function, but the end result is you have counters, actually working on the wiki page. These were initially tested back in August. I just tested these changes and they look good to me. I inserted them temporarily into the browser by opening the developer mode and inserting them manually. How can I add them to an article persistently? Are these settings applied globally or per wiki page? And then September 10th, when these changes that were messing around with the wiki, looking like vandalism, I just moved the CSS workaround to MediaWiki Common CSS. So the section should be numbered for everybody now. So if we go over to a slightly older commit, this is the commit where the counters were being added. So on the current production version of the Arch Linux wiki, you're going to notice that every single heading is now numbered like you'd expect from, most other wikis, like a README, like pretty much any sort of software documentation. I don't think they look great. I don't know why they're brown. Nothing else on the wiki is brown, so they kind of stand out like a sore thumb. But they do their job. And even though they are really ugly, they're absolutely an improvement. And how difficult is that to say? How difficult is it to say, hey, we are adding in numbers to the wiki, things are going to change a bit. But what it doesn't actually explain is why the next changes, because this is the commit that added in the counter. Okay, let's go to the next commit, and then let's go to the next commit. So they were already working. This previous commit didn't break the number lines, it was working on some other stuff. So they're already working in this commit here. But then you add a thing that adds a flashing text, and then you add bananas. I'm not sure what testing was being done. I still don't know what testing is being done here. All I can assume is they were just messing with people. And sure, some people are going to get kind of annoyed by that. But then you have the complete opposite side, where now they have created a banana cult. So you have this guy, I saw bananas. And this one here, I don't know if it is related, but don't remove the banana. I agree, please keep the banana. And there's a bunch of other comments like this saying, hey, when are the bananas coming back? Let's bring the bananas back. Keep the bananas around. It makes the wiki better. And just after removing the flashing text and the bananas, they added this change, which has the comment Easter egg. So maybe for this Easter egg, maybe for this test that, messes with the usability of the wiki, maybe save this one, possibly for April 1st, the time when everybody kind of expects the web to be a little bit broken. So let me know. What do you think about adding in these numbered headings? Do you think it improves the Arch Wiki, or did you ever even notice they weren't there? And when it comes to doing this testing in production, do you think that, that's acceptable, or it's kind of unprofessional, or it doesn't matter, it's just a bit of a joke? I would love to know. So if you like this video, I'm going to go and like the video. If you really like the video and you want to become one of... That's the wrong button. These amazing people over here, go check out my Patreon, subscribe to my Veripay, linked in the description down below. I've got a podcast called Tech Over Tea. I've got a gaming channel called Brodie Robertson Plays. That's going to be it for me, and I'm out.